Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.
Hello there, it's good to see you here on Ghana Tonight. I'm Keminni Amanor. Let's take a look at our top stories. Tonight, one of four candidates in the Akwatia by-election sues the Electoral Commission to injunct the electoral processes even as electoral materials arrive in the constituency and the election itself only now 10 days away. Also to come, why are 11 members of the NDC haggling it out for the Tamale Central seat? Tonight, that is the question raising a lot of concern over the NDC's interest in a seat largely considered safe. Also coming up, a second suspect is charged and arraigned in connection with the senseless murder of the immigration officer. But tonight, angry relatives of the murder victim are the spectacle. I'll explain. Oh, those are the big stories this hour. I'm glad you could make it for Ghana Tonight. If you'd like to be a part of the program, no matter where you're watching us here on TV3 or listening to us on 392.7, maybe even on 3news.com, facebook.com, x.com, or youtube.com, be a part of the conversations. Use the hashtag Ghana Tonight. Here's a quick summary of the night's biggest stories in Ghana Brief.
Tempest fled at the Adabraka District Court as proceedings nearly turned violent, with some aggrieved family members attempting to attack the suspects in the murder case of immigration officer Keminni Amanor. Police struggled to contain the situation, having a difficult time keeping the enraged relatives at bay as the case resumed in court today. Elder brother of the deceased immigration officer, Armstrong Amanor, prayed for swift justice in the case.
Yes, right. Any so more days are simply beat me. Yes, no in terms of 7 years. We also accommodate me at all.
11 aspirants have so far picked nomination forms to contest the September 6th National Democratic Congress parliamentary primary for the Tamale Central by-election. The aspirants, after picking their forms, pledged to conduct a clean campaign. Some of the aspirants shared their concern after picking their nomination forms.
Today, as we speak, we have some constituency executives moving around with an aspirant name, trying to push a certain agenda that is not true. So all we seek is a free and fair election.
From unearned salaries to overpayment of staff and wrong placement of officers, the Ghana Education Service has been cited for various infractions by the Auditor General. With many district directors currently indisposed, the Deputy Education Minister and the GES Director General have assured the Public Accounts Committee that all anomalies will be addressed. Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Employment Agency, Malik Basintali, says a committee has been established to assess all tenders for a waste management service provider. He could not tell whether Zoom Lion would be engaged again, but assured that beneficiaries of the new sanitation module would be properly remunerated.
I would not pay any beneficiary less than the minimum wage. We are looking at having a close to 300% increment in their payments, and that is assured.
President John Dramani Mahama has issued a call to African leaders urging them to embrace critical reforms and ensure stability to make the continent a credible and attractive destination for global investment. Making his closing remarks at the plenary session of the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD 9, President Mahama affirmed Africa's readiness for business but cautioned that desire alone is insufficient.
TICAD 8 pledged $30 billion for investment in Africa. I'd like to see what the audits of that would be, how much went into what. But I believe that the environment in Africa is better now at TICAD 9 than it was in TICAD 8, because now we have the African Continental Free Trade Area. We have the beginning of a basis to bring the continent together, be able to set up in one country, but have a market of 1.4 billion people instead of a market of 33 million people in Ghana.
It's still Ghana Tonight here on TV3 and on 392.7 FM. Just gone by is Ghana Brief. Listen, it's Friday night. Let's get the show on the road. Tonight, public attack on lawyer for one of the accused persons in the trial of the murdered immigration officer risks jeopardizing the case. Let's get into that now. Person emerged in court today in connection with the murder of the immigration officer Keminni Amanor. It is unclear at this time what role the new suspect Thomas Ziga played in the killing of the victim. However, in court today, his counsel attempted to have Ziga sent to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for medical care, a proposition opposed by prosecution because Ziga is already receiving treatment at the police hospital. Now, the court ruled in favor of prosecution, denying Ziga treatment outside of the police hospital. It will later adjourn the trial to September 4th. It was, however, outside the court that the real spectacle took place. Now, angry relatives of deceased Keminni Amanor raised hell, not only attacking the suspects, but the lawyer representing Ziga. Take a look. I'm going to ask us to run it back again. Let's see if it will buy us some time together. Oh, you get the plot. I'm going to run it back again because I want to show you some aspects of that video. Let's take a look at the moment when the first attempt for the lawyer to come out of court today. I want to show you who the lawyer is in that instance. Let's take a look at that. Right. So look critically at that video. The gentleman in the navy blue suit is the counsel that showed up today for the second accused person, Thomas Ziga. You can tell that as he tried to, and again, for those of you on radio, if you're unable to watch us online, when he tried to exit court today, he was accosted by people believed to be relatives of the murder victim, Stephen King Amwa, who are obviously not happy about what went down in court today. Now, this is what I mean when I say that it risks jeopardizing the case. But we'll understand a bit more from the lawyer exactly what that moment felt for him. But first, right, let's hear from a relative who identified himself as the uncle of the deceased.
The manner in which he murdered my brother makes the case more disheartening. We pray for a swift adjudication of the case to enable us to get closure and be at peace.
What you haven't seen is that there was a second attempt to take the lawyer to his vehicle, again with police escort. It was only during that second attempt that the lawyer, Gordon Abuaje, was able to get to his vehicle and then leave the court premises. Gordon is joining us now over the telephone for a bit more on this incident. Gordon, talk to us about that moment when you came face to face with the angry crowd.
All right. First of all, anybody who comes into conflict with the law is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And that is a constitutional prescription. Or, yes, that's what the Constitution says. So, and then everyone is entitled to a lawyer of his own choice. I couldn't have gone to the court without me being engaged. A lawyer cannot be a busybody going around fishing for cases. I was only there because my client, A2, who is Thomas Ziga, gave me the right to be there, which is the right of every Ghanaian or everyone found in Ghana, even if you are not a Ghanaian. So their disagreements or their anger is simply premised on the fact that they don't want any lawyer to come into the case to defend any of the accused persons. But it cannot be so, because the law is that even if they plead guilty, a plea of not guilty must be entered for them, even if they openly plead guilty. And they are entitled to a lawyer. A lawyer must be there. So we were up there after the case, and then we were stuck up there. We got information that some family members, initially we wanted to leave, but we thought that we should wait for everybody to leave, for the whole place for tensions to calm down before we go out on our own. Then we got information from there, down there, that the family members have swore heaven on earth to attack us, and they will never go, they will never leave until they do what they have planned to do, that is to attack us. So we were torn between either to wait till evening. And look at the time he finished the case and got an adjournment. To stay there till evening and go out on the quiet, or take the opportunity of the presence of the police and go under their protection. So we decided to take the second option because we got information that they are hell-bent on lynching us.
And you got this information before hearing today?
No, after hearing. After hearing.
I see. Then you stepped out, you came face to face with the crowd. Talk to us about that moment as a lawyer.
Yes. So when we stepped out for the first time, if you have the video, the two videos, initially the police decided to give us some protection. But then when we stepped out and we saw the situation and how the people charged and how the people charged towards us, we felt no, it was prudent. We got back. So we went back and then we got more police officers to escort us out. And it wasn't easy, I must say. Even though I commend the Ghana Police Service. I commend the Ghana Police Service. I must put on record that no harm came to me.
Right.
No harm.
But no harm may have come to you, but you must have been emotionally shaken at that moment.
Definitely, because I was there with a colleague lawyer and an intern. I have an intern. If you look at the video very well, at the entrance of the building, there was a gentleman on my right. He is my intern. And he was very traumatized. This is an intern having his LLB program. And he kept asking me, is this how it is? Is this how it's going to be?
Indeed. Is this incident giving you second thoughts about this case?
Well, as a friend, we will meet, and all options are on the table.
What does that mean, for all options to be on the table?
Yes. We will meet and then see the assistance we can be giving. We will review the situation and see which steps to take. You realize that today, counsel for A1 was not in court. And I understand A1 has a lawyer and wasn't in court. I'm suspecting, so I am just speaking for myself. Probably this may be perhaps one of the reasons why he's not in court, or he may, I don't know, but you let me leave that aspect and talk for myself.
Gordon, do you feel safe going back to court on this case?
Honestly, I don't. Today was the first day I was appearing in this matter. So I went there in the morning. They didn't know me. I moved really. In fact, I went to the court, left, and came back. I went to my car, took water. All this while they didn't know I was a lawyer because I was appearing for the first time. I moved freely, unimpeded. But as things stand now, I don't feel safe going back to the courts. Yes, they are crying for justice. Yes, I understand. We agree. The situation, what has happened, is painful. But we should allow the law to work. If truly they want justice, as they are saying, then they should let the law work. You realize today, all the prayers I made were refused.
Right.
Yes, were refused. And should I also say the justice wasn't served, or should I make some misgivings? I don't want to. I'm choosing my words carefully about what happened today. No, That is the law at work.
I see, Gordon, away from the rather unfortunate incident that took place outside of the court, what exactly is your client, Ziga, accused of?
What my client Ziga is accused of is basically conspiracy that she has conspired with A1 to murder or to kill the deceased. That is basically the charges she's facing before the court. Yes.
I see. I guess we'll hear more of the case when it reopens in court on September 4th. But I do appreciate you talking to us, and we wish you the very best as you heal from what happened to you today. Thank you so much. Gordon Abuaje is counsel for the second accused person in the murder trial of Stephen King Amoa, the immigration officer who was senselessly killed, in the last few months or so. But I do want to say again, that just as the lawyer has alluded to, we understand the complexities of this matter at hand, that there is a grieving family, and then there is also the law to be applied. And I was telling you from the beginning that what has happened risks jeopardizing the progress of the case. Now, I want to explain that, and my producer, Dennis Poberi-Wedam, is here to help us do just that. Dennis, what has the family done today?
Well, so just like my learned friend explained, it was quite an unfortunate incident that happened in court today. Yes, even though we empathize with the family of the deceased in this particular matter, but the way they went about it has its own implications, not just for the lawyer in the matter, but on justice delivery and all. And you recall, he started off by making a case as to the status of the people who are before the court, that the law labels them a certain way, for which reason they have to be treated a certain way. He quotes Article 14.2 of the 1992 Constitution, which talks about the fact that, no, he does not quote Article 14.2, but he quotes Article 19. Yes, so 19.2c, this rather, where it says that a person charged with a criminal offense shall be presumed to be innocent until he's proven guilty or has pleaded guilty. Now, even it gets more complex when it comes to matters of murder, which is the offense for which these people are accused. That even if these persons are to plead guilty at this stage, it will mean nothing. Because when it comes to murder, it's a different ball game altogether. Because trial has to go the long haul until the case is done and determined on its merits. Now, if they do not have lawyers, the courts usually are minded on how to proceed. So that's how come in some instances where people appear before courts in criminal matters without lawyers, the judges in their own wisdom sometimes would plead with lawyers at the bar to take up the matter. There are instances that courts have to adjourn cases because people are not represented.
Right.
So if this is something which is encouraged, and counsel seem to suggest that they are going to look at all the cards on the table. If they withdraw from this matter and nobody takes up the matter to pursue this case for the accused
For
person,
fear of being attacked.
For fear of being attacked. It may also drag the process. Because there are instances that the court would want at least somebody to be a lawyer on record for the accused persons, because they have that particular entitlement in law. And that's we can see here. That a person charged, that's Article 19.2f. A person charged with a criminal offense shall be permitted to defend himself before the court in person or by a lawyer of his choice. They have elected to go by this. So there's a constitutional mandate. It doesn't end there. It's for good reason that when you look at Article 14.2, it talks about what happens after somebody has been arrested or detained. The most relevant part for this discussion is the fact that the person should be informed that he has a right to a lawyer of his choice. So when people choose to exercise a constitutional right, and then they are met in the manner in which they are met, mind you, it was not just the lawyer even the accused persons themselves were also attacked. So in the administration of justice, it's not just the question of how people feel. They're entitled to have their feelings. But the justice delivery system should also be allowed to flow, because it is the law that allows them to pursue the course of action that they are pursuing now, or to have these people before the law courts to determine their guilt or otherwise.
Right.
It is also that law that gives the lawyers the right to represent these clients, and also the accused persons to choose the lawyers. And also remember, counsel says that lawyers don't operate as busybodies. They were not there because they are busybodies.
Yeah.
They are formally engaged, and then they act on the instructions of their clients. Then again, the rules of law, or the rules governing the law practice, are such that they do not allow people just to run away from cases because they feel like it. That's why when you look at the professional conduct and etiquette rules, that's LI 2423, which is more like the rules that govern the conduct of law practice and conduct of lawyers. It says under Rule 65 that a lawyer in practice is bound to accept any brief in the court in which the lawyer professes to practice at a proper professional fee. But the point that is made is that they are bound to accept any brief. However, there are some exceptions where there are special circumstances that may justify a refusal. That is just to make the case that, yes, lawyers operate by rules. They are formally engaged, and when they are engaged, the rule says that broadly, generally, you are bound to accept it, except there are exceptional circumstances, which may include either conflict of interest or matters of skilled areas that you probably do not have a lot of knowledge. So when you put all of that together, yes, we understand the sentiments and the emotions of the family. We sympathize and empathize with them, but the justice delivery system has to work, and it cannot work with this particular conduct that we saw earlier today.
Absolutely. Dennis, thank you so much for bringing us those updates. But again, we'll make the case that while we understand the complexity of what's happening, the family must know that their actions also have consequences that could jeopardize the case. Now, that's it for this matter. I do want us to look at other issues coming up tonight to do with the Akwatia by-election, because electoral materials arrive just at the same time a lawsuit threatens to halt that by-election in Akwatia. Details right now. Now, the Electoral Commission of Ghana is facing a lawsuit only 10 days to the Akwatia by-election. Now, one of four political parties announced for the September 2nd race, later disqualified, is now seeking to put a stop to the process unless the commission does right by their candidate. Now, put a pin in that. I'm going to return to this point shortly, because tonight, we are learning that ballot papers for the upcoming by-election have arrived safely at the Akwatia Divisional Police Command under tight security. And so representatives of two participating political parties, the NDC and the NPP, were present to inspect the ballot papers and other essential electoral materials. Right, so that's the situation, right? Only 10 days to the Akwatia by-election, which is on September 2nd. We're seeing new developments emerge. Remember that initially the police had announced, the police in that engagement with the political party and the Electoral Commission, it had emerged, not the police announcing, but it had emerged from that engagement that four political parties were in the race for the Akwatia by-election, which included the NDC, NPP, LGP, and APP. I'm going to bring in now TV3's Eastern Region correspondent, Yvonne Nikwe, on this matter. Let's start off with the arrival of materials. Yvonne, you witnessed the process. What other materials have arrived for the by-election?
From the ballot papers, over in, and then other essential, but not the election register that will be used for this particular exercise. We do know that, of course, that register for elections cannot be used in this by-election. there has to be a new register to ensure that there were 52,000 eligible voters in that particular constituency, then be able to go through the process come September.
Well, very unlucky connection there. But Yvonne, if you can hear me, you also report that inspections were done. You named the NDC and the MPP. Talk us through the process of inspection.
Well, when you talk about the inspection, I presume you would want to talk about the inspection by the police on the stretch through to the constituency. We're seeing a lot of barricades, more than what we're seeing if you're entering the police. If you're entering the constituency, these are strategic places we are seeing the barricade. The police was ensuring that everybody was entering the constituency by the vehicles, basic checks done to ensure that perhaps people are not carrying elements that are not supposed to be in the constituency as the election comes up. We do know that this is a very critical election for all of the stakeholders who are in highly, highly intense one, so that the police have heightened their presence, a lot of them in the area by the day, by the afternoon, by the evening, ensuring that they are still maintaining the peace until the elections are over.
I see. But why were there only NDC and NPP reps when we know that there are 4 political parties in the race, at least up until now? What has changed?
Well, Keminni, indeed, there were 4 parties who had filed their nominations for this particular exercise. By the process, one of them, which is the APP, was dropped because, according to the documents we're seeing today, he didn't meet some of the EC's requirements. The Electoral Commission is yet to give us official information on exactly what those requirements are. And so we're following through that process as well. So as I speak to you, all 3 of them will go through the exercise: the MPP, the NDC, and then the LPG will go through the exercise. Today, all of them were present for this electoral process, which ensure that we're watching the ballot papers come in from Accra and then sealed again before they were put into the police custody before the redistribution on September, when the exercise begins.
Are they aware of the attempt to injunct the process or the election? And what do they say about it?
Well, this was not a conversation that was in their mind. It didn't look like they wanted to have this conversation. For them, the goal was that the ballot papers were in, and they were determined to ensure that come the September 2, all of them will be in the race. Now, if you look at the tragedy of the elections in the Akwatia constituency, it's always been an issue between the MPP and the NDC. And so if these 2 parties are already in the race, then it means that they believe that it's good to go, not to downplay the smaller parties. But of course, we see the representation from the LPG as well. So it wasn't an issue that they wanted to discuss here.
Yvonne, we'll leave our conversation here for now. But let's go back to the lawsuit development, because David Ankoma, the Action People's Party candidate, is the one suing the EC, and he's connecting with us tonight. David, I appreciate your time tonight. Why are you attempting to injunct the process?
Good evening to you and your cherished viewers. I'm David Ankoma, the parliamentary aspirant of the APP for the Akwatia constituency by-election. I would like to use your platform to extend warm greetings to all the other aspirants and especially the constituents of Akwatia. I'm so surprised with the happenings because we just had a letter from the Electoral Commission on the 20th of August 2025, just 2 days ago, wrote to me to disqualify me from the contest on the ground that I failed to demonstrate that I have made arrangements to pay my taxes and obtain a tax plan certificate, which actually I see it not to be what that's supposed to be.
David, did you comply with that requirement?
Sure.
So if you complied with that requirement, did you present that to the Electoral Commission?
So the Electoral Commission, I demonstrated to them that I'm a nurse and therefore subjected to direct tax by the state. As the accountant general or that the requisite taxes for my monthly salary at all before I'm paid. I also demonstrated to the Electoral Commission, personally submitting my pay slip to them to verify and check that I've been paying all my taxes. I personally sent both soft copy and hard copies of my pay slip to the Electoral Commission, and they were satisfied. Even they called for a balloting, and I was part of the balloting process, only for them to issue a letter on the 20th that they disqualified me.
When you received that letter on the 20th, did you make any attempts to re-engage the Electoral Commission on this matter? What was the outcome?
Sure. So I personally went to the Electoral Commission district office at Akwatia and even sent a copy of the process of obtaining the tax grant certificate to them. They also assured me that they will also get back to me when they put in or they are able to get to the authorities at the national level. So I was complying and I was always cooperating with them until I received the letter, which I'm not happy about.
I see. You tell us that you even went through the process of balloting, is that correct?
Sure.
I see. So what was your number on the in the order of ballot?
I was the number 3 on the order of balloting, which there were other media personnel who captured it. The police commander and other security officials were there. The BNI was there. And I was number 3. I was part of the balloting.
I see. So now that the papers have been printed, does it change anything for you in terms of the processes that you have undertaken against the EC?
Come again, please.
I'm asking, now that ballot papers have been printed, are you aware that the ballot papers have been printed and even sent to the police command, in preparation for September 2nd? Does that change anything for you? Right, go ahead.
No, please. I've not been engaged in this, so I'm not aware.
You don't know about that?
I'm unaware.
Have your processes been served on the Electoral Commission?
Pardon me?
Have you served your lawsuit on the Electoral Commission?
My lawyers confirmed that to me.
That's what?
That they served the Electoral Commission the lawsuit.
When?
That's today.
Oh, today. I see.
Please.
And is your expectation that the process be halted immediately?
Since this has to do with law, I want to refrain from answering it. And I
do you want the process to stop until the Electoral Commission ratifies what they have done to you? Excuse me, rectify.
Certainly yes.
I see, David. We'll see how this plays out. Thank you so much for talking to us. David Ankoma is the Action People's Party parliamentary candidate in the Akwatia by-election. He has now been disqualified by the Electoral Commission. He says there appears to be a 360 on the action of the Electoral Commission to disqualify him because he's gone through the process even up to the stage of balloting. He says his number was number 3. Now, remember also that at the beginning of the story, we have told you that ballot papers and some electoral materials have already been sent to the constituency in the possession of the police. It begs the question whether or not David Ankoma's number 3 appears on it, or the decision to disqualify him was taken before the printing was made. Our attempts to reach the Electoral Commission have not been successful. The Director of Elections, Benjamin Barnobio, was not available to speak to us this evening. But this is a story we'll continue to follow and bring you, the details and get to the root of this matter. But we'll move on to another by-election, because this is a really crucial matter, and it has to do with the Tamale Central NDC primary. Let's get into that now. And that is raising a lot of eyebrows amongst political commentators. Now, 11 aspirants have picked up nomination forms to contest the September 6th NDC parliamentary primary for the Tamale Central constituency by-election. Now, a number that has ballooned over a matter of days. The question is why, right? Why is this happening in such a short period of time? Is this a sign of a democratic process or sheer indecision among party leadership for what is a safe seat for the NDC? Now, remember, the seat has become vacant as a result of the death of the incumbent, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed. So let's get and dig down further into this matter. We'll start off with our correspondent, Christopher Amwako. Chris, the last time we spoke, in the course of this week, say some 2 days ago, it was only 4 people in the running. Now 11. Talk to us about that. Christopher, you're muted.
Okay, Keminni, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
All right, so it's not surprising to see 11 people pick nomination forms today as the Northern Region chapter of NDC opened nominations for prospective aspirants to come and pick these nomination forms. Now, remember that we had anticipated that about 16 people have declared their intentions to contest the parliamentary primary. Now, today, 11 of them, comprising 2 females and 9 males, successfully picked nomination forms to contest the parliamentary primaries. Now, according to the party, they have enough forms for various aspirants who are willing to pick because it's a democratic dispensation, and so whoever deems it fit, and according to the constitution of the party and the national constitution guidelines, that person can come up and also pick the nomination form. So tomorrow, Saturday, we are going to see more people coming to pick their nomination forms. And on Sunday, too, we'll see some people coming to pick their nomination forms.
I see. So we expect the number to even grow bigger?
Yeah, so far, we even have 3 persons on standby because if you look at today, it would have been like 14 in principle. But instead, it's 11 because 3 of them did not actually get the nomination forms, even though they were there. So they were told that the nomination forms were finished, and so they should come back tomorrow. But their details...
You don't say. The nomination forms are even finished.
Yeah, so they made provisions for 11 today. The secretary said they had only 11 today. And 11 people who came earlier had taken the 11. So the remaining 3 who came later, around 3 p.m., did not get the nomination forms, but they were able to take their details. So tomorrow, when the forms are in or arrive from Accra, they will be the first persons to be served the nomination form. So we expect more people to come because we still have a list of some of the people who have declared their intentions.
Christopher, hang in there for me. I want to bring in now Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the NDC, Tanko Rashid Computer. Tanko, we are just hearing that the office in Tamale Central actually ran out of nomination forms. You didn't anticipate so many people to come?
Well, Keminni, let me say good evening to you and your cherished viewers. I must say, as a party leadership of the party, so far we are satisfied with the process when we opened the nomination today. I mean, we expected these numbers. Indeed, our record is that 14 of them picked nomination. I've just had the information from my director of the election from the region. About 14 people have gone successfully in picking nomination. And we've sent them more forms to 8 others who want to pick their nomination. You know, the NDC day in, day out is becoming more attractive to the good people of Ghana, considering the
I see. So explain the dynamics of this to me, right?
fantastic work of His Excellency John.
Right. Explain the dynamics of this to me. So for those who did not get the form do you deem them as having picked the form, so to speak, if you understand what I mean?
No, what I'm saying
having
is that
registered their interests.
No, well, if you register your interest and you don't pick form, it's not part of the process.
I mean, in
Your
reference
interest is
to,
different.
Tanko, in reference to those who were there to pick it, but you had run out of forms.
Oh, no, they got it. They got it finally. I think they got it because my director of election for Northern Region reported officially to us that 14 people have successfully picked nomination form. That means they finally got the form for them. We managed to send the forms to them via online, and they were able to get them through. So there are more forms for them tomorrow. Those who are interested in picking forms can go to the office. They will get more forms.
But I guess the question on the minds of many people is very simple. Why? Why so many?
Well, Keminni, the NDC, as I said, is becoming more attractive to the good people of Ghana. And Tamale is not in the exception in this. A lot of people are very much interested in the governance of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the NDC. Fantastic job over the last 7 months we've been in office. This is our 8th month. They are seeing the goodies. They are marveled with the performance and want to be part of it. I mean, the research agenda is all over the place. We are researching the economy. We are researching the mind of the people. We are researching every aspect of our life so that we catch up the current trend in the global state that we are. I mean, these are the things we are doing, and the people are very much satisfied with that. So everybody wants to be part and parcel of this. So we are not surprised at all. We are not surprised at all at these numbers. And looking at the performance of the former MP, may his soul rest in perfect peace, Allah Dr. Mutala. I mean, you can see that he was a young man who was passionate in the development of Tamale. And he was all over the place trying to look for development for the place. Indeed, he was even going to cut short for the building of a clinic in the area. So the people are very much satisfied with his performance as an MP for the NDC in the constituency. And so all these people want to come at least wear his shoe, at least, and continue his good work. And so, and they all stand a chance. I mean, the NDC is a social democratic party.
I hear you. I hear what you say, and I get that. But when we come back, I want us to juxtapose this against the fact that the NDC is mourning, the circumstances around the vacancy of the seat itself, and what the optics look like for the party, because this could be easily translated and what people will say in my language, agbonaye. I would explain that when I come back. Don't go away.
It will.
reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Welcome back. It's still Ghana Tonight here on TV3 and on 392.7 FM. We're just on that conversation around the number of aspirants that are popping up for the NDC primary ahead of the Tamale Central by-election. Still with us is Deputy Director of IT and Elections, Tanko Rashid Computer. We also have our correspondent on. Now we've also been joined by political scientist, Dr. Jonathan Asante Oche. Doc, I appreciate your time with us tonight, but I want to go to our correspondent to wrap up the conversation with him. Christopher, talk to us. What are some of the names that are popping up amongst the 11?
Yes, so we have the former NDC Northern Regional Secretary, lawyer Rauf, in the race. We also have lecturer at the University for Development Studies, Dr. Saidu Fita Mohammed, is also in the race. We also have a former mayor of the Tamale Metropolis, Alhaji lawyer Gundado, is also in the race. We have two professors, Professor Ali Duseidu and professor from the Tamale Technical University, Professor Razak, is also in the race. We have two doctors, also three doctors in the race, and we have other individuals also joining the race. So we have some big names really out there in the race. But lawyer Gundado contested the late Murtala Muhammad in 2019 during the NDC primaries. And so he's one of the known faces in this particular contest to the delegates.
I see. Doc, here's where I bring you. Is there a real concern with the number of names that have popped up for this safe seat?
Well, that's an interesting question. Let me say good evening to your good self and to your viewers. Well, at this point in time, and since this is more or less an internal primaries for the election of succeeding MP, we may have to look at it from a positive perspective. And that will mean that impliedly, there are about 2 or 3, implications thereof. And the first thing is that, which is crucial to the party, is the fact that the NDC appears more attractive now. And there's something else that we may have to, take into account. And that is the fact that Tamale Central ought to be an urban, peri-urban, and then a rural environment or constituency as a myriad or a combination, of different demographics. And so if you look at the profile of those who have decided to contest, that explains why I'm saying so. So the first thing is that the party itself has become quite attractive because they are doing so well in government. Now, the second thing is that it is supposed to be a safe seat. So if you're able to slug it out and then you get yourself elected, especially when the MPP is not contesting, that means that once you've won the primaries, you are more or less an MP, unless otherwise stated. And then we also have to bear in mind that the way and manner the incumbent MP died, has virtually attracted a lot more people, who were already in the background sitting on the fence. They were on a wait to see, approach, to see whether in the next elections the incumbent MP will contest or not. So this is more or less like an opportune time for all of these, categories of, as it were, contestants to slug it out and get a seat. And so that is how I see it. It has not.
What you have just said, what you have just said, Doc, is very consistent with what Tanko Rashid has also talked about here on the program tonight, which is why I want to ask both of you. And I'll start with you, Tanko. Remember how I talked about the circumstances around the vacancy, how safe the seat itself is, and the fact that the biggest opposition party, the NPP, say we won't take part in this election. We could even say that whoever wins is going unopposed. Is this clamor good optics for the party, a party that should be mourning?
we are all following through the democratic dispensation as spelled out in the Constitution, the 1992 Constitution. I mean, whilst we're in the process of mourning after we did the final state burial for them, the Electoral Commission issued a statement indicating that they will go ahead with the election of a replacement and give a timeline. And so as a political party, we have to work within the time frame given by the Electoral Commission in order to get a candidate to participate in that. And don't mind, the Electoral Commission said they are, never mind that, they are going to receive nominations on the 8th of September. That means we have limited time to go through all these, our internal processes to elect a candidate to represent us in the 30th September primary by-election. And so that is why we had to go through this. So in the midst of mourning and all that, we have to also go by the constitutional dictate. And so we found ourselves in this kind of difficulty. But thankfully, we already had a plan and structure that FEC, the Functional Executive Committee of the party, gave us the green light as a directorate to move ahead. Because, you know, as a social democrat, we want to allow everybody to test his strength to see who emerges. And that is why we opened up the process. We knew of this, but we didn't know that the Electoral Commission would just come out so soon to indicate that this is how they want to go about the process.
I see. Doc, I'd ask you the same question. Is this a good look on the party?
Yeah, that is why earlier on I said that we shouldn't have to look at it from any negative perspective. It is just because the driving force is the fact that once you are elected, you are an MP. Because I don't see how a yes or no vote would turn into a no. So definitely it's good for the optics. Yes, because I'm even told that probably from tomorrow, others will want to join. So whoever will win will most likely win with a slimmer margin.
I see. I hear what you say, and Tanko, I hear what you also say, even though you didn't answer the question as to whether or not you think this is good optics for the party. And I hope that you can answer that.
Keminni, I'm saying that as a democratic party, it's good for us that a lot of people are coming out. That is why we didn't.
But here's the thing. Again, given all the circumstances I have explained already, some have interpreted this to be a sign of indecision for the party. Yes, we understand there'll be a vetting process. It may even be cut down, but it also smacks of indecision, as we have seen in the past.
Well, Keminni, this is not the case. It's not an indecision. Selling of forms is different from being a candidate. I mean, there are aspirants as of now. I mean, we have to go through, after they pick the nominations, we are going to do vetting. And through the vetting, that is where the decision will come. For now, the issue of indecision does not play at all. It doesn't even come in. Anybody can buy. Even MPP people can go and buy the form. In buying the nomination form, we don't stop you. Anybody can buy the form. And for form selling, it's not an issue. So even if 100 people come in and they want to buy the form, we will give them the forms. But when you bring it, then there will be a vetting. That is where we now assess their qualifications.
Right.
Whether they are qualified based on our party constitution and the national constitution. That is where you will now see our decision. And that is where, after we've taken the decision, that's where you will now know whether there's an indecision on the part of the party or not. We will take the right decision and make sure that the right people are qualified to contest the primaries.
Indeed, Tanko, we have to go, but just before we do, away from the Tamale Central seat, Akwatia is just in 10 days, and we hear that there's a lawsuit seeking to injunct this process. How does that come to you?
Well, it hasn't come to our knowledge. I'm hearing it for the first time on your page about this thing. We haven't heard it. We have prepared ourselves. We form a team that police the ballot papers from Accra to Akwatia. Before I left Accra this evening, and made sure that these processes went through. So our teams follow it up to the armory in Akwatia, the police station, and we check everything and we are satisfied. As for us, we are battle ready for the election come September 2nd. Our teams are ready. Our training process is top notch. Everything is going on well, successful for us in Akwatia as we speak now. So we are not aware of it. I'm not hearing it for the first time. I mean, the EC knows how to go about these things.
Very well, gentlemen, let's call it a night. Tanko Rashid Computer, Deputy IT and Elections Director of the NDC, Political Scientist Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, and our Northern and Savannah regions correspondent, Christopher Amwako. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your time tonight and to every other person who's spoken to us on the program tonight. I do appreciate immensely your time with us here on Ghana Tonight. It's time for me to go. Remember, at 7 a.m. right here on TV3 and on 392.7 FM, Alfredo Kanse will bring you key points, a deep look at all the week's biggest stories, some of which you may have missed. It's a good time to join Alfred as he goes back on those stories. I'll see you on Hot Issues, 2 p.m. on Sunday with another riveting episode. Between now and then, have yourself a pleasant weekend, starting with a very good night this evening. Bye-bye.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Simply